is Steve Smith, editor of PHC News Magazine. We're coming to you live at our booth here at the AHR Expo in Atlanta. We've done a series of live interviews yesterday and also this morning. And my next guest is a special guest to me, Jan Andersson, president of MrPEX. Jan and I go way back when Uponor was Wurzbo, and he's got me beat with whatever we're calling this, for sure.
Goatee,
and,
right?
And we also shared a lot of good memories in Chicago. There's a Swedish custom called the Yule board, like a Christmas smorgasbord, essentially. And Jan, again, has me beat in that department because he's actually from Sweden, whereas I'm just a vagrant born in Chicago, and I'm half Swedish. But I always identified with the Swedish side of my family more than my German side, I guess.
That's good. We'll take that.
But Jan, I mean, I've known you forever. And can you tell me a little bit more about MrPEX itself? How long you've been there? Tell me about the heritage of the name. It's also very well known, but I don't think everyone really knows necessarily the history of it.
It is kind of a funny name, and a lot of people, it's like, MrPEX, what is that, right? And so, so the gentleman that founded MrPEX is Thomas Lennman, and just funny that Thomas Lennman was the gentleman that was hired in 1971 by Wurzbo in Sweden to actually develop process of the Engel method product.
Right.
He was in charge of getting all the listings, all the approvals, all the stuff over Europe and Sweden and so forth, and he was the guy that showed up at all these meetings.
Right.
And so everybody referred to him as, oh, that's the MrPEX guy, or the PEX guy. He's MrPEX. So he ended up getting the nickname MrPEX. So forward a little bit, he ended up actually introducing Wurzbo to the United States in 1984 and started then pushing the cross-linked polyethylene throughout the market. He was in charge of getting the factory in Apple Valley going for Wurzbo and so forth. And then, just happenstance, fast forward, in 1999, he got the opportunity for a new product in the United States, and he started his own company, and he wanted to call it MrPEX. That's how everybody knew him. So where I fit into this whole thing is that I also came from Sweden in 1984. So Tomas and I knew each other from just coming to the United States. I had nothing to do with floor heating at that point. Started in 1988, just a young lad, and pretty much grew through the industry and worked with Wurzbo for many years, did a few other things for a couple of years, and then went back to Uponor in 2001, and then Thomas and I joined back up in 2008. So I've been with MrPEX since 2008, and Thomas now retired in 2017, and I took it over.
Very good. Thomas is still with us somewhere?
He is. He lives in Dallas, actually, and enjoying the warmth and so forth.
I could use that right now.
I know.
Well, very good. That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I've met you. I've known you forever, but sometimes you forget all these origin stories, and it's fun to hear about MrPEX and the old days of Wurzbo, I guess.
I know, there's such a small industry of people that kind of go that far back. So the history, people that come into the industry now don't really have the history. And so all of us kind of have been around for a while. It's like we have an old family that just everybody's in different places, but we're all kind of one big family, I think, from back then. So, which is fun. It's great.
Very good. Now, MrPEX is a relatively small company, at least compared to your competitors, your rivals. But we were talking in preparation for this interview, and you were saying, that size helped you weather the COVID storm with all the related snafus and supply chain and shipping and getting things. Let's tell us a little bit about what happened.
We spent the last 12, 15 years at least really focusing on getting people to know our product, who we are, our history of the product and the qualifications that we have. And a lot of people have been with a particular company already. So when COVID hit, what helped us was the fact that now people were looking for more products. And it's like, okay, well, I can't be single source anymore, so I want to look at something else. And so we started getting phone calls. I've known you, you've been here, I know you're a good company, can we talk? And so that really helped us let people comfortably have a secondary source, if you will, or even switching in some cases. So it's really been a benefit for us.
Good.
So, yeah.
Good. Now, MrPEX, the name, of course, suggests PEX tubing, but you're more than that. In fact, I know, I guess the controls division, if that's what we're calling it, is relatively new. Why don't you tell us where that all fits in?
Yeah, so, like you said, PEX, we've always done PEX for snow melting and floor heating and all those things for that side, the heating side. The plumbing started coming on strong, and of course that's just pipe and fittings, and that's nothing exciting, right? Okay. But with the floor heating, there's always controls that need to be involved, and we felt that we really didn't have a good position on the controls for quite a few years. And we started pushing a little bit of some different zoning controls and some other controls, and finally decided, you know what, if we're going to do this, we need to have some dedication to that. And so we have a wireless package right now that we've partnered up with some people that is really tremendous, and so we're pushing that. And then we also have the IDC, which is the integrated dynamic control, which is a really big system control. And so we actually have a dedicated gentleman that can build and program the controls for the large systems and stuff. So that's been very exciting and helping us differentiate a little bit from just tubing and fittings, and which is great.
Well, yeah,
love it.
Yeah, sure. Is the controls division somewhat new, or?
Well, the controls division is new this year.
Okay, so that's new.
We've dabbled in some of these opportunities,
Sure.
but we decided, if we're going to do it, we need to have dedicated people. So we created the division. We added a tab on our website, controls, and so now we can do all that as well.
Good.
Yeah.
So, when I think of PEX, I think of Radiant. Obviously, I remember back in the old days of Wurzbo, and they had the home comfort team training. I think they always had it in Vegas. And it was, I think it's pretty much nothing but Radiant. Could be wrong, but it's been a long time. But obviously, there's a lot more to PEX than Radiant Heat, and you can see that in your old company. You can see that in your company. So, what's the biggest growing segment, I guess, of MrPEX?
Well, so floor heating. Every house does not get floor heating, unfortunately. We would love it to be that way, but every house gets plumbing. So I can see the plumbing side has been the fastest growing side of it, but we obviously try to take advantage of some of the new technologies now with air to water heat pumps, low water temperatures, and it's going to be, I can see in the next few years, that's probably going to be one of the fast growing heating segments where the plumbing pipe is still going to continue on for that part of it. So.
But also, you're active in actually the plumbing. The use of plumbing for PEX. For the use of PEX for plumbing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's our biggest, our fastest growing segment is the plumbing side of it, because, like I said, every building needs plumbing. Not everything gets heating.
No. So is it more residential or commercial for the PEX use of PEX and plumbing?
We go up to 2-inch, which really covers multifamily down to single family. So we don't do industrial stuff necessarily, but we do residential, light commercial stuff. So not a problem.
Very good. So you got a lot of good stuff to talk about. I haven't yet to come to your booth yet. I want to do that. But what else can we expect from MrPEX in the year ahead?
We're going to continue the effort that we started this year or this past year of pushing the controls and just spreading the word now that we have a lot more people that are allowing us to work with them. So we're just going to keep that torch going and keep building at it. So, but you can see us advertising, obviously, in your magazines and letting people know that we have the competence and the willingness to work.
And what's your impression of the show?
Love it. This year it's been, people have been cooped up for 3 years.
Yeah.
I know last year in Vegas, it was nice to see some people, but we really didn't have the attendance that I see here today.
Well, I remember last year there was a thought of, oh God, COVID's back. A lot of people pulled out of their booths.
Yep.
So
No, this year
it's still nice to see everybody, but I think people want. I don't know.
I think this year it's great. I like to see the attendance numbers. I haven't done that yet or seen them. So
just looking around, it's
full.
I also second afternoon is the second day. It looks very strong.
Yeah, so it's good. No, we couldn't be happier actually.
All right,
great.
Perfect. Well, we got to get together for the U Award this year.
We should.
We got to.
Absolutely.
I know John O'Reilly wants to meet sometime too.
All right.
And we get Ingrid too.
Yep. We should do it.